Hey, I'm AJ Nash, digital intelligence advocate for Authenticate, with the weekly cyber intelligence brief for 1 August 2025. Now, this past week, we've seen some truly unprecedented incidents, highlighting a critical shift in the global threat landscape. So let's dive into what you need to know. First off, the big headline. We've just witnessed the most severe coordinated zero-day exploitation campaign of the year. Chinese nation state actors compromised over 75 organizations globally by exploiting critical vulnerabilities in Microsoft SharePoint. This also wasn't an isolated incident. It coincided with a cascade of attacks hitting critical infrastructure sectors like telecommunications, aviation, government services, and finance, and it signals an escalation in the capabilities of both nation state and criminal threat actors. Unfortunately, this wasn't the only thing that happened this week. Let's break down a few key incidents. Microsoft confirmed active exploitation of SharePoint server zero-day vulnerabilities, as we just discussed, CVE 2025-53770 and CVE 2025-53771. That began back in July 7th, actually. So, three distinct Chinese nation-state actors, Linen Typhoon, Violet Typhoon, and Storm 2603, are behind this. They used the tool shell attack campaign to deploy persistent web shells, extract cryptographic keys, and bypass multi-factor authentication. Over 4,600 compromise attempts were documented globally, with confirmed breaches affecting major government agencies, including the U.S. Department of Energy's National Nuclear Security Administration. This is considered the largest coordinated zero-day exploitation campaign of the year, as I mentioned. So if you have internet-facing SharePoint servers, immediate action is required. On July 25th, Orange Telecom in France detected a major cyber attack that disrupted services for its 291 million customers across 26 countries. While Orange's cyber defense team worked quickly to isolate affected systems, the incident highlights the significant vulnerability of critical communications infrastructure to sophisticated actors, especially state-sponsored groups. SafePay, the SafePay ransomware group, they set an August 1st deadline, that's today, for releasing 3.5 terabytes of data allegedly stolen from global tech distributor Ingram Micro. Now, this attack initially compromised Ingram Micro's VPN using stolen credentials. So this creates an immediate supply chain risk for any organization relying on Ingram, or Ingram Micro, I should say, and their distribution services. And their customers include major players like Apple, HP, and Cisco. Pro-Ukrainian hackers is an interesting story today. Pro-Ukrainian hacker groups Silent Crow and Belarus Cyber Partisans, they launched a devastating cyber attack against Russian airline Aeroflot on 28 July. The attack forced the cancellation of over 100 flights and reportedly destroyed 7,000 servers, compromising 20 terabytes of data. It shows the significant operational disruption that hacktivist groups can have. Now, beyond these specific incidents, we're seeing some familiar faces and new tactics from key threat actors. Scattered Spider, well, that group's escalated its operations, now targeting VMware hypervisors using social engineering attacks against IT help desks to gain Active Directory access. They're deploying ransomware directly from the hypervisor level and have incorporated a new variant, Dragon Force ransomware, into their operations. There's also Chinese APT coordination. As mentioned, Linen Typhoon, Violet Typhoon, and Storm 2603 are showing unprecedented coordination in weaponizing zero days, particularly against SharePoint. They demonstrate a deep understanding of SharePoint's architecture to maintain persistent access. There's also some things going on with Russia, of course. Russian Secret Blizzard. It's an FSB affiliated group. They've been conducting sophisticated adversary in the middle attacks, targeting foreign embassies in Moscow, deploying malware disguised as antivirus updates. This represents a significant escalation in nation state espionage, leveraging Russia's SORM surveillance systems. Now, hey, it's not all bad news this week, though. We do have some positive developments. Cambodian authorities conducted a nationwide crackdown, leading to over 1,000 arrests across 5 provinces. This targets a multi-billion-dollar scam industry involving romance and investment scams, and even human trafficking. The Department of Justice sentenced an American citizen for operating a laptop farm that enabled North Korean IT workers to fraudulently obtain remote jobs at 309 U.S. companies. It generated $17.1 million for the North Korean government. This demonstrates successful disruption of state-sponsored revenue-generating schemes. There's also CISA and the U.S. Coast Guard. They completed a joint proactive threat hunt at a critical infrastructure organization, successfully identifying significant cybersecurity risks before any malicious exploitation. That highlights the value of proactive defense. CISA was also in the news because, along with their Five Eyes partners, they quickly released a coordinated advisory on the Scattered Spider group, demonstrating improved threat response and intelligence sharing. All right, let's talk some trends really quickly. First half of 2025 saw a 246% increase in vulnerability disclosures and a 179% increase in publicly available exploits as compared to last year. What's most concerning is that 32.1% of vulnerabilities are being exploited on or before the day of disclosure. That means organizations need to just assume that compromise within hours, not months, of a vulnerability being disclosed. Frankly, most of them have already been compromised, or a lot of them have been compromised before you hear about it. There's critical infrastructure targeting that's gotten more sophisticated. Attacks on state and local government entities are escalating beyond data theft to operational disruption, even requiring emergency declarations, like the first state-level cyber emergency in Minnesota, my home state. St. Paul, Minnesota, the capital of our state, was hit with a cyber attack that overwhelmed their ability to respond, and the governor actually had to activate the National Guard. We talked about some social engineering campaign evolution. Threat actors are using increasingly sophisticated social engineering tactics, successfully compromising major organizations through third-party systems and help desk manipulation. A notable example right now this week was the Allianz Life data breach. It's affecting the majority of their 1.4 million customers, and it occurred through a third-party cloud-based CRM system. I said it was a busy week, right? Well, to get the full details on all of these events and more with concrete, actionable recommendations, check out the complete brief on the Authenticate blog. That wraps it up for this week. Stay vigilant.